Welcome to episode 107 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can become informed consumers and build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. I've hesitated to do an episode on the cost of construction because home building costs can vary greatly from house to house and region to region. But how much does it cost to build a house is a question that comes up a lot. So I decided to give you some information collected from the National Association of Home Builders. They did a cost of construction survey, which asked builders from around the U.S. to break down their construction costs for the typical home they built in 2017. This week's episode will cover a lot of numbers, and you can't possibly remember them. But I want to give you some points of reference for your own project, and I'll also have a link in the show notes to the article that I got the information from. I'll not only share the average cost of each major category of the building process, such as site work, framing, and the foundation, but I'll also tell you what percentage of the total cost of construction each segment represents. Remember, all the averages you'll hear are based on the 2017 National Association of Home Builders Construction Cost Survey. Other sources may have different numbers, but let's get right into it. The average single-family home built in 2017 was 2,776 square feet, or almost 2,800 square feet. That accounts for only finished floor space, but not garages or outdoor spaces. The average lot size was 11,186 square feet. That's about a quarter acre. 1 acre is equivalent to 43,560 square feet. So that average lot size, again, 11,186 square feet, was the smallest lot size in the survey's history. Lot sizes in general are getting smaller as less and less land is available. The average cost of construction for a typical single-family home in 2017 was $237,760. Again, $237,760. Now, that's simply the cost of construction and does not include the builder's profit, marketing costs, overhead, financing, and other expenses that go into the sales price of the house. The average sales price for that house charged by the builder would have been $427,892. So although builders charged an average of almost $428,000 for a new house, that house cost them only $237,760 to build. The average dollar amounts needed for construction will vary greatly, but what should be a little bit more consistent from region to region and house to house are the percentages of the total cost of construction for each construction category. Let's start at the beginning. Construction preparation and site work costs. In 2017, they averaged $15,903 and accounted for 6.7% of construction costs. That amount includes building permit fees, impact fees, water and sewage fees, architecture and engineering services. Building fees on their own came to just over $4,000. Next, the foundation. The average foundation cost was $25,671, which was 10.8% of the cost of construction. Foundation costs include excavation, concrete, retaining walls, and backfill. Next on the list, framing. Framing averaged $41,123, accounting for 17.3% of the construction budget. Framing includes house and roof framing lumber, roof trusses, and sheathing. The next category, exterior finishes, such as brick, vinyl, stucco, and other house cladding. It also includes roof shingles and windows and doors, and those items cost $33,066, and that represents 13.9% of construction costs. Plumbing, electrical, and HVAC rough-in materials and labor were $32,746, or 13.8% of the construction budget. This amount includes pipes and wiring, but not lighting fixtures or plumbing fixtures like faucets. Interior finishes took the lion's share of the budget, costing on average $67,939, which was 28.6% of construction costs. But this category includes a lot of line items, including insulation, drywall, interior trim, interior doors, mirrors, painting, lighting fixtures, cabinets and countertops, appliances, flooring, plumbing fixtures, and fireplaces. Take a look at the link in the show notes to see a specific breakdown of the cost of each line items. But a surprising thing for me in this category was that drywall cost more than $10,000. I thought the cost would be much less, and appliances averaged just over $3,500. I thought that number would be higher. The final steps of construction had an average cost of $16,591, or 7% of the construction budget. These final steps include landscaping, outdoor structures such as decks, patios, and porches, driveways, and cleanup. The highest line item in this category was landscaping, averaging $5,859. Finally, there was a miscellaneous or other category which accounted for $4,722, or 2% of the budget. So, in summary, in 2017, according to the National Association of Home Builders, the average construction cost of a builder's typical single-family home was $237,760, and it was built on a quarter-acre lot. Of the 8 major stages of construction, interior finishes at 28.6% accounted for the largest share of construction costs, followed by framing at 17.3% and exterior finishes at 13.9%. Plumbing, electrical, and HVAC rough-ins accounted for 13.8% of the budget. Foundations were 10.8%, and final steps, including landscaping, driveways, and porches and cleanup, were 7% of construction costs. The smallest shares of construction costs were site work and construction preparation at 6.7% and miscellaneous or other costs at 2%. Now, these are the averages for builders. If you act as an owner-builder, you'll likely pay a little bit more since you won't get volume discounts for labor and materials. And if you're building a high-performance house, your HVAC system, windows, and insulation will probably cost more than average. And larger, more complex, and more luxurious houses, or houses in more expensive markets like California, will obviously cost more too. But this information, particularly the percentages or shares of the construction costs, will give you a ballpark idea of what you might be spending on your new house. Take a look at the show notes for the link to the survey, which will give you more detail. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you learned as much as I did, and I hope you'll join me next week for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.